introduction, and good afternoon, everyone here in the room. When Renzo invited me to speak here, thank you, Renzo of Sprout, I was imagining that the breakout session would be kind of tiny and very personal, but then I was surprised that it was going to be a huge room of MSMEs. So, just to warm us up, because it's late afternoon na, or early afternoon, and I'm sure you guys are in food coma because of all the good food that Sprout offered us. Can you please stand up? Stand up, please. Can you please stand up? Can you please face your right? Can you please face left? And then can you please sit down? Yes, you're done stretching. Now, I did that to demo to you how you usually prompt AI. Is that how you guys prompt your chat GPT? Do you say please? Do you say thank you? No? So, I believe that's how we talk to these LLMs or AIs that we use every day for work. If you don't say please, sabi nila, if the robots will take over in the future, you might be the first to go because you don't know how to use please or thank you to your chat GPT. No? So that was just an exercise. So we can follow instructions. Yes, LLMs can also follow instructions. AI can be used to leverage, become our partner when we work. It's as they say nga, parang ano na siya, co-founder mo. So I'm wondering here, for the MSMEs, who among you here are actually founders or co-founders of a startup or an SME? Can you raise your hand? Can barely see from here. Okay, founders are here in front. How about the others? What are your roles? Are you mostly from sales? Sino dito from sales? Marketing? HR? Ops? Okay, I'll talk to the founders in the room. I'm kidding. All right, so I'm going to tell this story as someone who's also running a startup. So I'm Flair Castro. I'm the founder of Dasho Content. Dasho Content is one of the first AI marketing companies, I would say, in the Philippines, even if we're registered in Singapore. Because, of course, I'm Filipino. I'm going to own the whole Philippine space. And I just want to level with you guys because my talk this afternoon is not just going to be the same concepts that you heard about. You've heard about AI. People have been hyping the use of AI in our companies, hyping the use of AI, how it's going to change our lives, how it's going to take our jobs. So I'm sure you've heard that ever since this morning. So I'm going to level with you that this afternoon, what I'm going to showcase here are actual workflows, actual tools that we are using at Dasho Content. Because just like you guys, we are also trying to explore where AI can take us as a startup. So I want you to prepare to open your phones, do some screenshots, scan the QR codes that we're going to give you, because this is the closest that you can see how other startups, like us for example, execute and use AI in our companies. Are you guys ready? All right? Game ba tayo? All right. So, AI advantage, how it supercharges growing businesses. Again, this is a story of Dasho Content. But before we move forward, I want to ask or run a poll. So, 4 questions. I'll let the guys here open the multimeter. What was that? All right, kindly open the poll. We have questions for you before we proceed. So this is the part where you open your phones and scan the QR code because you will be answering few quick questions before we proceed. Okay, so the first question here is, how does your team currently handle repetitive tasks? First is, do you do it manually or just power through? Second is some basic automation. Do you use AI tools or wait, can AI do that? So which of this do you agree with? Okay, so your answers will be seen at the very end of this poll. Next question, please. All right, how does your team currently handle, the next question. Kindly, ako ba mag-next? All right, second question. What's your biggest bottleneck right now? Is it time? Is it your budget? Is it your skills or your consistency? Yung mga hindi pa nag-scan, kindly please open your phone, do a scan, take the quiz. All right? You guys done answering? Next question. How ready is your business for AI-assisted content workflows? So again, of course, we're Dasho Content. We have to ask this question. How ready is your business for AI-assisted content workflow? First, not at all, a little, or very. Okay. I think that was the last question. Is there another question on the poll? Next one, please. All right, this is the last one. Your sales team's response time is hurting conversions, but personalized replies can take hours. What's the first HCO step for this? This is a save workflow. I think we should show the results of the first poll. Do we have the results na of the first poll? All right, so there's the result. So a lot of you guys answered, 44 of you answered some basic automation like email filters, so forwarding some of your emails, all of that. And then 35 said AI tools like ChatGPT, 23 said everything is still manual. Okay, let's take a look at the next question. Ano mga answer nyo? 44 also said, the next question please. All right, what's the result? Okay, 37 said, biggest bottleneck is the budget. They can't afford more staff or more tools. And then 2020 said, time is the bottleneck or the skills of your team. They don't know how to optimize. And then 17 said consistency. All right, next question. What's the result? How ready is your business for AI? A little. 59 said they're a bit ready for AI. All right, interesting to know. Next one, please. Is that the last? Okay, sales team's response. I think this is the workflow poll, but let's answer this one. Train AI on your best past replies. 57 said, train the AI in your best end reply. Okay, interesting to know that you do know the answer to HCO. All right, so as we can see, okay, since MSMEs naman tayo here, SMEs, a lot of us are wasting too much time on things. So it could be wasted resource. For example, you came here at SaaSCon, you're expecting leads, you're expecting to network, and then you receive all the business cards, but how long would it take you to actually return or create an email to reach out to those business contacts you've had at this conference? So it might take you, I don't know, fastest would be 24 hours after this event. Kaso holiday tomorrow, so I'm sure you're going to take a day off. Or it might take you a week just to get back to them. But the thing is, if they are in a hurry to find a partner, you might be losing your lead already. So that would lose you 250K a year, all gone, just because you couldn't reply, you couldn't respond as fast as possible to that lead. So that's wasted resource. Next is your 10,000 pesos spent on different tools. Let's say you have a ChatGPT, but you're also subscribing to Gemini or to Perplexity. So all of these tools, if you are trying to subscribe to them, but you're not really maximizing all of these tools, that's also wasted resource. Next possible problem is wasted time. For example, you might be trying to automate some of the things internally for your business, but then 47 hours of it is spent fixing errors or redoing work. And this is quite relatable, especially for us, because we are an AI marketing company. Like if AI could do the work of one person, they can create 30 posts that can be used every day. But then the client would say, I don't want these 30 posts because they don't sound like us. It's not created in our brand voice. It doesn't sound like us. You still have to customize the images. So now that's wasted time because you have to do back jobs, right? So what AI can do, you're spending as much time to edit the work of AI. So again, wasted time. Now, 15% of your week might be spent on tasks that don't grow the business. All of them could just be busy work, but nothing is focused on strategy. So now you're wasting time. Next is you might be wasting energy. Your team might be burnt out. They're juggling lots of work instead of being strategic about it. Or you might have inconsistent results because of processes that rely on heroic effort. So wasted resource, wasted time, wasted energy. These are things that you might be wasting on because of lack of automation. All right. Next slide. So again, we're Dasho Content. We are an AI marketing company. So what we do is we do help CMOs and marketing department plan, produce, and optimize marketing content at scale. So if a business is already ready to grow, but they only have in their marketing team, let's say, one marketing manager, tapos isang graphics designer, there's no video editor, and then they say, okay, we have one brand for you to take care of, but also here's another brand, and another brand, and another. So imagine your marketing department stretched so thin because you only have two persons, your marketing manager and your graphics designer. So that's where we come in at Dasho Content, because we help scale up your marketing operations through our solutions. So that's what Dasho Content is about. And again, I'm Flair Castro. Just a bit of backstory. I have 16 years experience in digital marketing, and I started creating my company in Cebu. I'm actually from Cebu. It's called 30 Media. We were one of the pioneering digital marketing agencies in Cebu itself. So we got to work with the likes of Aboitisland, Mega World, all the big names that were in Cebu at that time. And we were one of the first who were offering digital marketing services. So as a pioneering company, I didn't realize that entrepreneurship could be so hard because it was my first time to create a company. Like straight out of graduation, I'm an IT graduate, so I do understand technology. Straight out of graduation, I had my first job. I got fired from it because I love blogging so much, and I was creating blogs, I was writing blogs, but then the IT told me, that's bawal. You should not be using company resources in order to use social media. So imagine all the people here who might be fired, just like what happened to me, because everyone's so strict about social media at that time. But these days, what's happening is that your employees can easily open their phones and browse Facebook or Twitter or IG, or they can even use AI without your knowledge. And that's one thing we should talk about in a few. So again, as I was running my agency, next slide. So I was running my agency. Yes, I grew it to a few heads. We were working with big names. And scaling an agency pre-AI, before AI, it was pure humans. We were banking on the creativity of all the writers, the graphics designers, the video creators that we worked with. So as the company who was offering this kind of service, nothing at all was automated at that time. Yes, there were marketing technologies. Yes, Facebook was there at that time, but nothing was as automated as compared to today where AI already exists. So, because of the pandemic, next slide please, this accelerated the digital transformation of our agency. Everyone was going online, people were reporting as a remote team, they started working from home, all of the employees started working from home. And I'm sure it's not just us as a startup who did this. Maybe your companies as well has revolutionized the way you work because of the pandemic. So that's a huge shift as to how we work as small and medium enterprises. But then the next big thing is already here. Next slide. And we know that. We've been talking about it ever since this morning. Generative AI is here, LLMs are here, and it's taken over everything that we're doing. We talk about it at every conference. We talk about it with every professional we meet. Are you already using AI? How are you using AI? Do you use ChatGPT? Have you used Studio Ghibli images? You've seen that, diba? You've seen that. Have you generated your Studio Ghibli images? Did anyone try it out with ChatGPT 4.0? Ghibli. Ayon, yes. Some of the ladies here used Ghibli. And then the artists are saying, we should not be using AI to generate art. Are you pro or anti this sentiment? Do you agree that LLM AI should not touch art? So I'll tell you ahead, if you're not aware, a lot of the artists today are super anti-AI. They have Reddit, they have subreddit, they have groups that talk about how they are anti-AI. Because they don't want their work eaten into an LLM and regurgitated as AI slop. That's what they call it, the enshittification of content because of AI. So artists totally hate AI. You might have a graphics designer friend who, are pro AI, but a lot of artists, if they call themselves artists, would be super anti-AI. So it's not just the artists, but there's a huge shift even for businesses. If we go to the next slide, we can see that top factors driving AI adoption. I've highlighted a couple here. So first is the need to reduce the cost and automate key processes. Why? Because your bosses or your founders, or if you are a business owner, the one thing that you would want to do is to really cut costs. You don't want to hire another person just to manage your social, or you don't want another person just to edit your video, or you don't want another person just to, create reels on TikTok or IG content. You don't want to do that. As much as possible, you want to cram all that kind of work into one person. But then what would happen to that person? They're overloaded, they're overwhelmed, and basically you're not giving them anything to work on. And so what they would do, because of all this pressure for them to perform, what they would do is to bring their own AI. So next slide, as we can see, this is a huge problem now. There is an AI adoption security gap. Did you guys know that in the Philippines, there's 87% adoption of AI? So if I ask you, hey, are you using AI? Most probably you would say, yes, I know how to use AI, especially if you're a Filipino. But 83% of them are bringing their own AI, meaning to say they're not telling their bosses, they're not telling the founder of the company that, hey, I'm actually using ChatGPT right now in order to create these posts. Or I'm using ChatGPT in order to create drafts or to conceptualize a marketing event as big as SaaScon, So you might not know that your employees are actually bringing their own AI, which presents 100% security risk. Why is this risky? You guys know why? Because they might feed all your company data, including a huge leads list, into AI because they might want AI to summarize how many leads did they get at SaaScon. So they upload the whole CSV of the leads, and then they want them to summarize what industry. It's very helpful for them. But it's a risk for you as a business. And you're not aware of this because, just like what we mentioned, you did not tell them how to use AI. They're bringing their own AI. And so the governance gap, as we can see, 65% of the companies lack formal AI for security purposes. When we learned about AI, because I registered Dasho Content 2021. And then ChatGPT came out at the tail end of 2022. So imagine us as a company that didn't start as an AI company. We were actually working with humans. And then they tell us that you're not needed anymore. Writing, it's enshittified. You don't need writers, you don't need creators anymore because we can do this with ChatGPT. And so for me, as I was building my startup, I was so distressed. I was like, should I shut down my startup? They don't need humans anymore. So by tail end of 2022, I had to decide on a major pivot because AI is here. And we can't deny the fact that it's going to take over a lot of industries. And so the first thing we did when ChatGPT came in, I told my teammates, I told my employees to try and embrace AI. I'm sure my teammates would agree with this because I always tell them, hey, here's a new tool, try this out. ChatGPT is here, Gemini is here, try to open this and do your prompting, explore, there's Midjourney, let's try it out. So I was pushing my team to use AI and to explore. But we immediately created an AI policy. And here's what it says. The important part of our AI policy says that, yes, you can use any AI tool. First, you have to share with us how you're using AI and how it can help our team. And second, most important of all, is to edit your AI content. The last touch should be human. If you're going to use ChatGPT to generate text, edit it as a human. If you're going to create image on Midjourney, edit it as a human. So that's part of the AI policy. So I'm wondering, do you guys have an AI policy in place? Yes or no? Who has an AI policy in place? I think Sir here is the only one who raised his hand. How about the others? Let's think about that, no? So for us, because of that gap, because we had to transition into using AI, we came up with the term hybrid content operations, or what we call HCO. So it has 4 important components. First, of course, is AI. We have to be AI first. AI would handle the boring stuff, all the things that can be repeated, automated, that's where AI comes in. Second would be humans. So of course, humans have to be there. They have to check the quality and to make sure that it still sounds real. It doesn't sound automated. It doesn't use words like unleash or delve or whatever those AI common words are. Third is workflows. In order for things to be repeated, there has to be a system in place. So third component is workflow. And fourth would be results. There has to be consistent growth, even if you have a small team or if you have 0 marketing hire, it should still show results. And so we came up with this formula. So HCO, or hybrid content operations, is AI plus humans plus automation or systems, which results to scalable output. And again, to emphasize, we use AI to move fast because AI is super fast. Like if you ask your seatmate to come up with 5 new ideas, AI can do that in just 5 seconds, right? So we use AI to move fast. Where does the human come in? We use humans to get it right. Your customers, your bosses would still want it to sound like you, would still want the content to sound like your business. So that's where the humans come in. And then the systems is to keep it moving, keep it running, make it scalable. And that's how HCO operates. And next slide. So what I want you to do this afternoon is to actually steal how we work at Dasho Content, because I don't think there's a moat these days. If you have been exploring AI, you know AI can code any single app at any time. They call it vibe coding. And in fact, some of our apps that you're going to see later on have been vibe coded by me. Like I haven't touched code in 20 years, but because of AI, I started coding again. That's how amazing AI is, to be honest. And so I want you to steal how we're working at Dasho Content with our SaaS platform. So hybrid content operations is AI and humans. So I added a comics here, this one. This has been generated, of course, by ChatGPT 4.0 to be specific. That's the model I use. So the comics here says, our content is not ready again. Oh no, we have to post tomorrow. It's SaaSCon. We have to tell people to visit our booth. So if your content is not ready again, here. Third panel, it says, don't worry, try our hybrid content ops. And then it goes Tagalog mode. It says, hybrid content ops, secret weapon namin. Oh. So imagine AI can generate all these comics and even localized language. Nagtatagalog na din siya. No? That's how amazing AI is in content creation. So what we want to do, next slide, is I want you to take this quiz. Because first, you're going to see the results on how ready you are, how ready is your organization, your business, your team with automation. So if you take this quiz, it's going to show you as a result a score out of 100 on how ready you are with automation. It's just 2 minutes, so you can open your phone, do the QR code, and then tell me later on, or actually we're going to see it later on, what your scores are. The most important thing, once you get to the score, I want you to screenshot that and send it to your boss, or send it to your CMO, or send it to your, sino ba? Mga CEO or founders nyo that are not here in the room because probably they are in the breakout sessions, no? So screenshot your result, show it to the boss, and tell them, boss, we are actually ready for automation. We are 63 out of 100 for automation. I think we should start exploring AI beyond ChatGPT. Okay? What are your results? Who wants to share their results? Who got above 50? Who got above 50 sa results? Oh, you're still taking the quiz. Okay. I'll shut up for a few seconds and let you take the quiz. The room is super quiet. I wonder if they're scanning the code or taking the quiz. Right? I'm interested to know your scores. Is it less than 50? Is it greater than 50? Will your bosses be convinced to do automation? I'm interested to know. Did you get to finish, sir? What's your score? 5? 95. Okay, you're super ready for automation. So you got probably like Google Sheet in place, you've tried Zapier, you've used Notion, Jira, you're using Jira. So if you have all these tools in place, there are still ways that you let your data and tools talk to each other. This is where automation comes in. And we're super excited about that, especially as a marketing company, because we deal with a lot of content, from top of the funnel content, up to the middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel content, from marketing to sales. We deal with a lot of data. And if they only could talk to each other, it would lessen our workload. And if I'm a solo marketing manager, I can already say to my boss, I have a teammate, it's an AI agent, it can automate the things that I hate doing. Yan. So hopefully you were able to take the quiz and screenshot your results, and then from there you'll be able to see how ready you are with automation. Okay, so since we're talking about automation, hopefully you saw your scores. Let's go to the next slide. One possible automation you can do is an expense report workflow. So imagine doing this super manually at first, because for example, your boss would say, sige, just email your GCash screenshot or just email the receipt, the resibo from your travels kasi pumunta ka ng event. You went to an event, you had to pay for your Grab, so just send it to our company. Now, if you're going to do an expense reporting workflow, everything is usually manual, right? You have to send it to a specific person or an email, they have to verify it, and then there are approval bottlenecks for you to be reimbursed. But after hybrid content operation, All you need to do is to start with an AI capture. Remember, AI is really good with OCR. It can detect your ugly handwriting. All the more it can detect a Gcash format, right? So let AI capture it. It will automatically categorize your expense. And then humans can come in to spot check in case there are mistakes. And then you get your automatic reimbursement. That's how AI should be able to help you. Next example, meeting documentation. Remember the time when we all had secretaries, when we needed them to be in the same room with us because they have to take minutes of the report, minutes of a meeting. It's possible now that you don't need them because all you need to do is to invite them to your Zoom. We have tools like Firefly's AI, my favorite is Fathom, and all they need to do is to just stay in the room with us, and it takes down notes of everything you said, and it even gives you a summary at the end of your meeting what your next steps are, what your next action should be. This is how hybrid content operation has automated the meeting documentation process. Now, how about content creation? Let's go to the next one. Even social media can now be automated. So before, the ideation might require a few people to come into the room or to come into the meeting and say, oh, I have an idea for May content. Let's do this, let's do that. So pretty manual. And then after that, they start ideating, manual creation of the content. There's still an approval cycle because the bosses still want to feel like bosses. You still have to escalate content to them and tell them, hey boss, here's our social media post. Is this approved or not? So I think that part can't be automated yet because a lot of bosses still want to approve content. No? They still want to see it before it's published on social. So we still can't automate that part, but then the ideation, the strategy, the production can now be done with hybrid content operations, meaning to say AI plus humans in your workflow. Now, I'd like to introduce my Chief of Staff, Ms. Charlene Verlove, to the stage. She's going to show you a few more tools that we created inside Dasho Content. So she's our marketing content and ops strategist, 10 years in communication arts and digital marketing, project manager and customer success lead. She's also an actor, writer, voiceover artist, and creative producer. Welcome to the stage, Ms. Charlene Verlove.
Thank you. All right, so thank you, Ms. Flair. So now Ms. Flair has kind of covered the big picture, so we're gonna breeze through this next part of the presentation. So she went through the nitty-gritty, showed some data and how these things, how HCO happens. And so that's where I come in at Dasho Content. We turn our AI human philosophy, right, the HCO philosophy, into repeatable results. So every day we are in the trenches with our clients. We're trying to unbreak content workflows. We're training our AI tools, our AI agents to handle the boring stuff so the creatives on our team can just create. And we're proving that small teams similar to yours can outpace giants as well. So which brings us to one of our first case study. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, that's correct. So first up, our first case study, of course, is ourselves, right? So our own blog. We needed more content, we needed it faster, and without sounding very AI or like robots. And so here's where the HCO magic comes in. AI would draft, right? It would write SEO optimized articles based on trending data and things like that. Next step, human touch. Of course, editors add branding. It can add a bit of humor, a bit of wit. And of course, very important, verify facts and link as well, strategically. And then third thing is we would auto-publish, and we would have an automation in place that publishes and schedules the final blog. And the result was astonishing, even just within 6 months, right? We got 3 times more posts out, we increased our traffic growth, and 75% of our posts hit page 1, which is great for our SEO. And so the moral of this little story is, you let AI be your sous chef, and the humans can bring in the Michelin stars. Next slide, please. So this one is from our one of our customers, one of our clients. No, so this is Yoo-Hoo, a company that sells air quality monitors, and they really advocate for health, safety, and well-being. And so they run a really lean marketing team. They had at least 2-3 people on their team, on their marketing team, and they really needed to streamline their content production across channels. And so we came in to take care of their email newsletter. And they didn't just send out one general newsletter. They had to have it segmented into 3 groups, right? So they had their premium groups, their like more of their B2B partners, and then they had their more family, or what they would call the home segment. So these 2 segments are clients that have purchased monitors from them, and the 3rd segment are people who did not yet purchase monitors. And so we had to do this fast. Every week, 3 newsletters out. And so we were able to do that. AI, of course, generated the segmented drafts. Humans added the witty hooks, any like current events that's happening, we could inject that into the email. And of course, later on, we would optimize based on clicks and of course, email opens. And so the result, obviously, faster content, faster campaign rollout, 20% higher open rate, and also click-through rates. And so the trick here is, again, AI handles the template of it all, and then the humans handle the personalization. Next, please. Okay, this one for social media. This is a more popular channel for MSMEs. No, so this is Barcota. So Barcota is a ticket selling platform for local ferries, mostly in the Visayas. And so they wanted to post daily. So that's about 25 to 30 posts a month. And they wanted it to be local friendly, hyper localized. And so AI pumped out the concepts, the content ideas, and the visuals. And then the humans would tweak. And then the outcome, again, faster production, more engagement. And so if you see this Payday Friday post, this was actually suggested by AI, the whole concept of having the wheel, etc. And then the humans came in to add that uniquely Filipino touch. Next, please. Okay, so this one, now we're really pulling back the curtain and sharing our secrets here. So let's talk about hiring headaches. I noticed earlier some people were in HR, in ops, they raised their hands. So imagine sorting through 200 resumes just for one role. It's literally like finding a needle in a haystack while you're blindfolded, right? And so Ms. Flair here was able to create an AI agent that acts like the first filter, the first line of defense, and it would screen resumes against our exact rubric. Of course, nothing new. We look at skills, we look at experience. But the magic is, we're able to see kind of a strengths snapshot for each application. And so the tool does half the work for us. The tool even gives us interview questions, any clarification questions that we can ask in the interview. So that's another workflow we have here. Next one. Okay, now here's our sales workflow. So the painful truth is apparently a huge percentage of buyers choose the vendors that reply the fastest. And so we know this all too well, especially in the last few months. So our sales team was losing deals because they were busy crafting the perfect proposal, the perfect quote. And so we changed it up and we structured the intake, right? So we replaced the messy emails or the Viber, WhatsApp back and forths. And we created a simple form to capture everything, budget, pain points, timeline, all those things. And then within minutes, we had our AI tool audit the brand, which usually takes a long time. And then it would pull from past proposals, right? And then it would also flag upsell opportunities as well. And so the human touch here is, of course, to personalize the quote, maybe add some custom add-ons, things like that. And of course, brand voice and tone tweaks. And so this is actually a new process that we've implemented last month, I believe. And so we can't tell you that I can't tell you just yet that it is effective in closing a sale, but what we can say is that we produce quotes way faster, from days to now just an hour, 2 hours tops for the customization part. We don't miss a lead because it's so quick, and then our sales team is now more productive because they're able to focus on other things. All right, so now you might be wondering, how do we actually make this HCO workflow happen day to day? So the secret sauce is in our trained AI agents. So these aren't just like your generic tools, they're actually specialized teammates that we have built to handle the repetitive tasks. So the humans in the team can focus on other things. So every case study that I just showed you, whether it's content, sales, or hiring, it runs on this or these purpose-built AI agents. They're the engine behind the HCO. And so we've decided to share some with you today, and it's actually open for you to use. So let's start with our content scorecard here. Really quick, you can try it. This tool analyzes content and it gives you AI insights. So you'll see here, I've actually copy-pasted a random blog, and now I'm able to see keywords, I'm able to see sentiment analysis, is it a more positive or negative blog? And then there's also, it identifies brand voice as well. So go ahead, scan if you like, try it out. Also, we have a booth here, so find us and we can demo this for you. The next one. Yes, okay, so this one is the brand scan. So similar to the other one, you would just have to copy-paste your website, and then the tool will kind of scan through, your website and identify the top 3 brand voices. So for this demo, we just chose apple.com, and it showed that it is luxury, minimalist, and simple, which I feel is pretty accurate. So there's no more guesswork, right? We get the data-backed answers instead of your subjective opinion. It's also a good gauge on how your brand sounds like versus how you would like your brand voice to sound like, because sometimes that doesn't always translate. For our last tool that I want to flex, this is the WhatsApp SaaSCon lead capture. So this was created special for today, and it's really based on a pain point that the team was going through. So you're at an event, you're exchanging business cards, you're making good connections, having conversations, only to realize later when you get home, you have no idea who half of the people were because you forgot to get their business card or something. Does this sound familiar with anyone? For us, it was definitely a pain point. So our team faced this problem, and that's why Ms. Flair here built a tool to turn all these handshakes and these conversations into real relationships without the manual work. And so what you have to do, you'll see the demo on the video here, you snap a photo of a business card, just a photo, send it to our WhatsApp bot, and then it would automatically record what's on the business card and send that straight into an email, like an introductory email right away, as you'll see here on the screen, right? So the first email goes out even while the conversation is happening. So there, so you see Ms. Flair's personalized email there. So you can try it out, scan the QR. Again, you can go to our booth to try it out. So this has really solved one of our biggest pain point of having to manually, write down the names, emails, etc., company names. So now it's just a quick picture away. You want to add? All right, so those are some of the tools that we flex, some of the real-life case studies that we've experienced at Dasho Content. So I'm going to give it back to you, Ms. Flair, to close.
Thank you, Ms. Charlene. I remember the last SaaSCon, we had to manually encode a whole stack of business cards because SaaSCon is that good. Thank you again, Renzo. So we had a whole stack of business cards. The problem was, how are we going to encode everything so that we can reach out to these people who are interested in connecting with Dasho content? And so I created that automation in WhatsApp. You can go to our booth and check it out later. So as you saw from all the tools that we presented to you, all of those are homegrown. No, we created all of those tools. How? We have a team, but we also have AI. That's how we created all those tools. We didn't even mention all the internal tools from other SaaS tools like, Zapier or Make. Those were just internal tools that we're using. So my challenge to you guys, especially to the founders, to the business owners, is to start using AI beyond ChatGPT. We're already mentioning beyond ChatGPT here because that conversation was so last year. This year, it's all about AI agents. And in order to do that, you can start by mapping one workflow, something that's really bothering you because it takes so much of your teammates' time, it takes so much of your staff's time that you really just need to automate it. So map that workflow and then try to time your manual process. Does it take you 6 hours to encode a whole stack of business cards? Does it take you 10 hours? And then try to automate it. Just like the WhatsApp that we showed you. We just one scan using AI. It goes straight to our Google Sheet and it sends you automatically an email. That's how fast it is, right? Doesn't have to take 6 or 10 hours. And then you add the human checkpoints. Yes, humans are still important because it ensures the quality of the data you have. Next slide, please. So if you do want to ask for other AI tools, I want you to take a picture of this one. So I'm not going to go through each of it. But there are tools for writing, yes. You might be familiar with this, ChatGPT, Jasper, all of that. And then you have tools for visuals. You have Midjourney, you have DALL-E, you have Runway, all the famous apps for visuals. And then you have tools for automation, just like what we showed you, the AI content detector, the brand scan. And you have, if you want the whole workflow, you can try it out with Zapier. And then you can level up with Make.com, and then you have N8N. These are the common automation tools that companies can help you out with. Next slide, please. So again, how to navigate your AI challenges. You might be asking, Flair, how can I do this? I'm only a solo founder. I only have one other teammate who helps me with marketing and sales. In fact, they're in the other room because we need to divide and conquer. So that might be your status, I understand. You have limitations in resources. Or you might have integration complexity. For you, automation is so technical. It's too complex for you. Or ROI might be uncertain. You might say, okay, what if I invest in all this automation, but then it doesn't result in ROI for us? So I understand that you might want to find a way to navigate all these AI challenges. Next slide, please. And of course, that's where we come in. If automation in content creation or marketing is too complex for you, we can help. We have the AI expertise. We can do digital marketing end to end. And we have expert creatives and writers, the humans that don't want to lose their jobs. They are still here because they want to ensure that there's quality work being produced by AI. Right now, we have 1,000+ creatives and writers in our network all across the Philippines ready to deploy for you. And so that's us at Dasho Content. Next slide. So we've showed this to you. This is the audit tool. My final word is that you don't need a huge team. Just like us at Dasho Content, there's only like 5 of us. 1 engineer, me for automation and everything else, supposed to be a CEO role, and then Miss Charlene, our sauce. We have a growth lead and a product lead. There's just 5 of us in the team. But we can do all of these automation because of AI. So I'm thankful for AI. I love AI so much. But this is we are the perfect case study that you don't need a huge team. You just need the right systems. You just need a motivation, and you just need the right support in a way to go into full-blown into AI beyond ChatGPT. So we have an offer here. If you scan this code, we will look for the companies that have the highest scores. I remember I received an email that their score is like 100 over 100. So meaning to say they're ready for automation. So I received that email, thank you. we will come back to you with an offer on an MVP for your automation. So this is worth 100,000 because we still have to audit, create the MVP, and then work with you to make sure that you have an automation ready. But we're giving it to you here at SaaSCon for free for three companies or 3 brands. So we will pick the ones with the highest score on the audits here. So yeah, if that is you, let's talk soon. And this offer is only good for today, for SaaSCon PH 2025. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you learned something, how to do automations, workflow, use AI beyond ChatGPT. So again, I'm Flair Castro, we're Dasho Content. Thank you so much.
Flair, thank you so much. And Flair, before you come down, just a question from the floor. Earlier on, many of them are SMEs, and they were wondering, there were a lot of different solutions you're offering for different productivity tools for different parts of the organization, different workflows. In your experience, because you can get overwhelmed as an SME,
That is true.
where to start, based on your experience, where is the best place for them to start the automation?
Best place to start your automation is Zapier. I think everyone knows what Zapier is. It has existed even before all the AI automation existed. So Zapier, it connects your apps. For example, for every entry on Google Sheet, it will send an email. It's as basic as that. It has existed even before. But what makes this era very interesting is that even before you send that email, you can ask AI to research about that person, check their company online, and then give more context so that your email is now more personalized. It doesn't sound robotic. It enhances the data. So I suggest look into Zapier.com. It's one of the easiest tools that you can use for automation.
And with that, thank you so much. A round of applause, please, Flair Castro. Remember, first 3 with the highest score for automation gets 100,000 pesos free worth of audit from our friends in Dasho Content. Renzo, please join us again here on stage for a photo together with Flair Castro. You can drop by Dasho Content's booth outside. And if you enjoyed her presentation, please let us know online the hashtag to use, SaaSconPH. Again, thank you so much. Very insightful panel, especially for those of us marketing practitioners who want to further automate our work. Thank you so much, Flair and the Dasho Content team. We move on quickly to our next panel discussion